Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to this special Winging It podcast episode. I want to say, first of all, to those people that are celebrating Valentine's Day, you. Secondly, um, I forgot personally that Valentine's Day, as we usually don't have an episode on holidays, and it completely lost my mind. I'm sorry. I do apologize for that. So the other two of our illustrious podcast members, they in relationships.
Yeah. That's pretty much how to put it. That was Valentine's Day. I'm lonely.
But I'm happy for him. And Jack, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How about yourself?
The Single Brothers Alliance, goddamn it.
Pretty much.
All right, so I thought we'd just have a little fun on this special episode, and we're just gonna talk anime and video games and more anime. So if you don't know, we are full on geeks here at Winging the Podcast. We run the gamut of geekdom, and I am an anime head, but I'm more on the shonen side. I don't watch everything. I don't mind the slice of life ones, but I don't watch them. Like the only one I really did like was like Oh My Goddess, and that's because it was funny.
Right.
Because the stuff they did to that boy, I felt bad for him. I'm like, God, I'd kill my damn dorm. My they did me like that. But it's the comedy ones I don't mind. But I'm more on the shonen side. Now, shonen side is basically your action, adventure, superhero, all that stuff. That's what I roll with. What about you? What you roll with?
I mean, it's like your typical, but if I run into something that can catch my interest, I'll dive into something outside of shonen. But kind of like you, I mean, shonen is kind of where I started, especially when you talk about Toonami, and that's kind of where I set because shonen is kind of geared to my type of anime, so you kind of really don't have a choice at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta have action. I can't.
Yeah.
I gotta have action or comedy. I gotta be able to laugh, or
Right.
I gotta be able to see somebody get their ass whooped.
Right.
Better or for worse. And with me, I started watching anime probably around 95, 96. My brother introduced me to the Fatal Fury movie.
Okay. Okay.
Tommy Abari.
Gotcha.
And at that point, I was freaking. He introduced me to that and Ninja Scroll. I should
See,
not have watched Ninja Scroll at that age.
well, I mean, you started off at least with Fatal Fury, and then something that you shouldn't have started off with. Like I told you before, I'm out the gate with Fist of the North Star, out the gate, and then Dragon Ball Z after the fact. That's like I didn't know Fist of the North Star. I didn't even know what anime was. I'm thinking everything is cartoons, And then my uncle just pops up and just watch this, and then I just see the fingers just I'm like, okay. Now, I don't think I should be watching this, but cool.
And that's the other thing too, because I had to explain to somebody. I'm like, you do realize they make anime for everybody. Like they have soap opera anime. I don't watch that crap. They have comedic. They have your action, the stuff that we like. They have your historical stuff. They have your horror. Now some of them horror ones are actually good, but because they will scare the hell out you, to be honest. They have their well, everybody know about the the Skinamax versions of
yeah. They got diehard fans too.
they got that for you. So but they have something for everybody actually. But what I want to talk about, because Dragon Ball Z is right before I went to college. So really? I want to say it's around 90. I started watching Dragon Ball Z because the first arc, the Saiyan arc, comes in right around, when was it 97 or 90? I want to say 97 was when that started.
Yeah, somewhere around there, because I know I came in late.
Yeah.
But I want to say it was around there because they just finished it up in Japan around that time, and they start bringing it over this way. Yeah.
So right. I want to say I started watching it right before I went to college then, because I was watching before Funimation bought it, which means
okay.
I started watching from the episode 1, and then all of a sudden the entire voice acting changes in episode 43, and you're like, who the hell?
Yeah.
So, and it's noticeable, but and that one was actually good. But my favorites from that Toonami era was Rurouni Kenshin.
Yep.
Gundam Wing.
Yep.
Not Gundam G was a close second, but Gundam Wing. Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yep.
Inuyasha.
Yep.
Because Inuyasha was just one of them shows where you like it was a jacked up love story that you were like, wait a minute, so this dude was fiending, so the bandit was fiending on old girl, but the bandit was a simp, because the bandit was really a simp. He was fiending on old girl. He was like, look, I want her to like me. Y'all demons eat me.
Yeah. Pretty
And
much. Yeah.
he got mad because she kept talking about y'all see women that sometimes y'all need to keep y'all business to yourselves. So he kept talking. She kept bragging about her boyfriend. He was like, okay, I'm Now I got this power. First thing I'm gonna do is kill that dude.
Yep.
Like, made them hate each other. I'm like, this is a jacked up love story, but I'm liking it because Inuyasha is talking trash, and Inuyasha's brother just beat the crap out of him. Inuyasha's called blocking.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
But I like it, and the story just grew from there for
Right.
me for Inuyasha. But Toonami, I got to give Cartoon Network props. They had back when they was all about cartoons and anime.
Right.
They actually had a fire lineup.
They did. And there's some that, still get overlooked because I don't know why I fell into it. And I've watched it from beginning to end is Trigun. That was another
Yeah.
one that I fell in love with. And, I don't know why. Still to this day, I have no idea why I have such a fascination for Lupin the Third. I have no idea.
Because Lupin the Third is cool as hell.
He is.
It's cool
He is.
as
The
hell.
whole crew is
Yeah.
cool as hell. And like I said, the fact that they're still releasing movies is crazy. Same thing with Case Closed. The fact that, there were episodes that would creep me out, just having this teenage boy that got turned into a little kid that's solving all these cases. And now he has his Velma moments to where it's like, okay, I'm with you this whole episode. When the hell did you figure all this out over here?
Yeah.
And then he breaks it down. I'm like, hold on, we didn't see that. So when did you figure that out? Like, all right, cool, whatever. But I mean, I still love the anime nonetheless, though.
Case Closed is one of the ones that I was like into, but I was so far behind because that damn thing got over 1,000 episodes. And I'm like,
it's heavy. It's still going. It's
and I came in like around episode because when did they start? I want to say because Cartoon Network never showed the whole thing.
No, never.
They only showed like two sagas, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because I want to say they're still doing specials and OVAs over in Japan, if I'm not mistaken, of that one. But yeah, the Case Closed. Yeah, that's another one. That's a good one if you're into that detective mystery Columbo stuff, because he does some Columbo / Velma stuff. Where you like, dude, when the hell did you have time to figure that out? Like, you just straight up do. You like, bruh.
Like, hold on, I don't remember that part. Like, I've watched this whole episode. I was like, did I miss something?
Like, had us in the dorm room videotaping and recording and rewinding.
I'm like, bro, like, are you serious? Like, okay, well, maybe I missed something, but now that I'm older, I went back. I was like, nah, I ain't missed nothing. No. It's just he pulled the Velma nonsense of got it. Like, yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah, I can go with it.
Right
now, Hajime Ippo. Funny story about that one. I actually didn't start watching. I didn't know about that one until after I played Ready to Rumble.
You found out before me.
And I'm sitting there because a buddy of mine, I think I was like a junior in college. A buddy of mine was like, "Hey man, I know you on this anime. You need to check out this boxing one." I'm like, "Wow, they got boxing anime?" Because I ain't know nothing about sports animes. Sports anime. Sports animes. If basketball could be played, bro. If tennis could be played like Prince of Tennis, bruh.
Yeah.
I'd be in front of ESPN and I'd be watching the Australia Open.
It'd be nuts. It'd be nuts. Like, what was it? Kuruko basketball?
Yeah.
Man, just because at first when they introduced it, right? Because at this point, I had watched Hajime no Ippo, and I was like, all right, I'm with it. And then I forget the name of the volleyball one. Damn, I forget the one.
IQ?
I think, yeah. So I was on that. So I was like, okay, I need me a basketball one. Now, crazy thing is, I had watched a basketball anime before called Slam Dunk. But the crazy part about it was I didn't even know it was an anime until I got older. Because my grandma, she used to work at a movie gallery headquarters. And at that time, movie gallery would give their employees movies to take home. And then depending on our reactions, she would take them back to the corporation. And then they would have to see, okay, if there was enough, light for it, movie gallery would start putting those movies inside a movie gallery. And so she brought home Kimba and Slam Dunk. So at this point, as kids, you already seen Lion King, so you like, oh, they doing ripoffs.
No.
In reality, Kimba is the original.
Yeah, Kimba's
so
the
I'm like,
original. Yeah.
so then I look at Slam Dunk. I'm like, all right, bet. But then when you look at Slam Dunk compared to Karuko's basketball, whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Whole different ball game.
The animation quality, everything, dude.
Everything. Shooting 3-pointers from. He was like, I can hit it from anywhere on the court. I was like, come on, man. At the out of bounds line on the other side of the court, spoosh, swishing it, not even touching rim. I was like,
so that's where Steph Curry got that from.
Bro, like the fact that they turned that into kind of like a boss thing, to where it was like, okay, we got to play this next team, and this next team has a fighter from this old dream team, and can't nobody touch them. Can't nobody touch these players. And then the fact that they make references to actual basketball players when you talk about, whether they talk about Shaq or anything else, they actually talk about those, the actual players in that anime is, it's awesome. I love the anime.
Yeah, that if you're looking for a sports one, I would say that if you're a football fan, iShield will have you. iShield will be like, man, I wish Derrick Henry could have this stuff.
Man. Yeah, sports anime. I really don't even watch real sports no more because of sports. Yeah. That's real talk.
It's boring. You watch an episode of Kuroko no Basketball and then go watch a freaking Lakers game.
Yes.
You'll be like, oh man, when somebody gonna do a spinning dragon?
When somebody gonna go up in midair, lean all the way back, then shoot it over something is nuts.
When somebody gonna do turn into a tornado, man? What the hell? It's just boring.
I love it.
But I will say this: like Hajime no Ippo, that some of them fights in there, dude, it get like the way they would do the camera movement. Like if Buddy get like this, he started doing like, you better catch it. You better catch it.
You draw me all these pictures, Buddy? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, man, it's that anime, the way I actually got into it, I was actually looking for a boxing anime and I found it on YouTube. They had full episodes. But the thing was, they have them all out of whack on YouTube. So when I started watching it, they were already talking about him. I fight Mako, the dude that was a fisherman. And, at that time, Ippo was talking about, he felt like he was sunk. He had sunk underwater and he couldn't breathe because dude had a special punch that'd make you feel like he was drowning and stuck up underwater. So I was all out of whack with it. So when I actually saw the ending, I was like, okay, this can't be it because that was a stupid ending for the anime. Now, mind you, the manga's gone. It's a lot further. But with the anime, they stopped it at a very stupid flashback of his trainer, like the older coach or whatever of the whole gym, showing him boxing back in the day, and that's where they cut it off. I was like, come on, he still got to defend defend the belt. I was like, what about his rival? Like, there was so many other fights. Like, was he gonna be Dan? Like, there was so many things he had to do, and they just cut the anime off.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing I would say about anime. I hate when they do that. But the problem is with anime, there's so many good ones that it's easy to forget, man. I mean, we were talking about before we went live, Bleach. Yeah. Because Bleach is coming back this year to do the last arc. Inuyasha went through the same thing. Like, Inuyasha, they had caught up to the manga, so they just dropped it. And when Rumiko Takahashi finished it, they brought it back, called it the final act. So this one, they're going to do the last arc because the way they ended it in the anime, they did end it with the arc that they did before the 1,000-year blood arc, and that, to be honest, that arc wasn't all that good. that whole executioner arc is just like, really, bruh? Mm-hmm. I mean, that just wasn't that good. So, and I was telling people, like, look, dude, the 1,000-year blood arc is where you is what you want to be reading because it's a way better arc than this executioner arc. Because number one, they show Genryusai. You get to see a full-blown Genryusai fight.
Yeah.
I don't think you understand. I can't wait to see that get animated.
I'm telling you,
I can't wait.
Oh man, I purposely watched Bleach through just to get ready for that. Like I said, beginning to end. Yeah.
And because the character development they do with Kenpachi, the character development they do with Ichigo, because Ichigo go through some stuff.
Oh
The
yeah,
character, the character development they do with Ishida. I mean, it actually makes now. There gonna be some people who just heard me say that and gonna be like, "Man, Bleach ain't got no damn character development."
yes, it does.
Yes,
It
it
does have
does.
character
It
development.
does.
Because I'll
Actually,
be the first to say, I thought that was going to be the case, but Ichigo kind of put me in the same mind frame of Korra from Avatar, the Last Airbender, because every time I saw her, she was getting her ass whooped, and Ichigo was the same thing, constantly getting his ass whooped, and then eventually you start seeing him doing his training and everything else, of building up and getting his different powers and figuring out different moves and stuff like that, and getting used to the mask and everything else. And it does have development. It really does.
but if you tell somebody, "Man, Bleach stupid," I don't know why you like that. I'm like, okay, fine, man, bro, fine. I've had people get mad at me because I said I like Dragon Ball Z.
All right, that recently has popped up. I've
Yeah,
seen people like, I don't know how y'all like this. I'm like, I understand. For me, sometimes there is a nostalgia factor with Dragon Ball Z, because yeah, Goku can get long winded. There
yeah,
are some episodes that, yes, I came home from school and was like, what the hell? I
yeah,
waited all week for this,
yeah,
and just
yeah.
for y'all to turn around next week and show
The
I
actual
don't
fight.
the actual fight, or even cut it off, because not knowing what seasons were at the
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
that y'all literally about to start it back off at the Saiyan saga again. Like, nah, bro. Like, no, we not about to do this ending it
yeah.
on a conversation. We not about to do this.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people are looking at. They're not looking at the actual story. Because I've told people, look, from the Saiyan conflict through Frieza Fall of the Tyrant is a better Superman story than what DC ever came up
Oh
with.
yeah, definitely,
Um,
definitely.
from Trunks saga through the end of Cell games,
Hmm.
Terminator.
Yes.
He like if you look at it, I'm like, bro. Now, once again, I understand if you watch the American version after school, yes, they because back then they didn't do filler episodes that much.
Right.
They
Mhm.
did full on, so they had to find a way to expand the episode out. So yes, a lot of those episodes, especially like the Fall of the Tyrant, has 10 extra episodes that they shouldn't have,
Right.
but they
Yep.
didn't have a choice.
Right.
Like it was what they had caught up to the manga. They didn't have a choice. They were waiting for him to finish it.
Hmm.
So that's what happened back then. They didn't do filler episodes. And if somebody says one more thing about Bleach's filler episodes, but don't say nothing about One Piece or Naruto, Naruto's filler episodes were egregious. They were
Yo,
just straight up egregious.
I'm not a fan by any means of filler episodes unless they give me something. But when
Yeah,
I say on a scale between the three of them,
Bleach had the better one.
Naruto is the worst
Yeah,
for me. Naruto is the worst, and then Bleach gets bad, but One Piece, when they do have their fillers, it has nothing to do with anything.
nothing to do with anything.
Like,
Nothing. And I heard people complain about Bleach, but I'm like, Bleach got to the point where they were like, okay, they even made it an in anime joke. Like they were
yeah.
like, okay, you'd see like I think right after he beats Grimjaw and they went to the Muramasa arc.
Hmm.
Right at the end of that episode, you see Ukiura sitting down sipping some tea, talking about, "Oh, I'm on break," and
Yeah.
Ichigo like, "The hell you talking about, dude? We got to fight, dude." You're like,
Yeah.
"Nah, man. Go talk to the department head. I'm on break." And he's like, "Would
Hmm.
not fight." And then they went into the actual filler arc. And I will say this: the Muramasa arc, I actually got mad because I was more into the Muramasa arc than I was. That I
Right.
was like, "Bruh, um, what the
Yep.
hell?"
Yep.
So I'm like, I get why people get mad at that, but don't sit there and pretend like Naruto and One Piece didn't have fillers. Or I'm like, yes, they have. And like I said, Naruto Shippuden, that mess. I stopped watching the anime. I stopped until they were done with it because I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not watching this. I am
No.
not. They would spend whole years doing filler arcs, whole because they were trying to get it up to 500 episodes. I'm like, why?
There was times where I'm watching it and I look at the episode. I'm like, I've seen this. I said, hold on, let me pause real quick. Let me see. No, this is the right episode. I'm like, why the hell are we looking at something from Naruto? This is Shippuden. Like, what?
Yeah,
I said, all right, y'all got it.
yeah, that it had got to the point where it was just bad on
Yeah.
bad on bad for Naruto. So like I said, I stopped watching Naruto Shippuden until they
Hmm.
ended it, and then I went back and I caught the episodes I needed to catch because I wasn't watching all that. I wasn't
Right.
watching 200 episodes of filler. I wasn't,
No,
and Bleach never went that bad.
Nah,
Hell,
never.
One Piece didn't even go. I don't think One Piece went that bad. Now One Piece, now when they do it, it's nonsensical,
Yeah.
but it's not as long as Shippuden
Right.
was.
Right. It's only like maybe a handful of episodes,
Yeah,
if that. Yeah.
it's not like Shippuden was like, I want to say a good. It was over 100 episodes of filler. It was over. I'm just like, what
It's
the
so
hell?
unnecessary.
Yeah,
So
like
unnecessary.
the hell, dude.
Just
Really?
take a break, man.
Yeah.
Like so
Like if it's
unnecessary.
that bad, if y'all caught up that bad, just like, look, man, we're going on break
Right.
for a year and we'll come back. That's what they did with Dragon Ball Super. They caught up with the manga and they were like, look,
Yeah.
we're gonna shut it down till y'all get far enough ahead for us to come back.
Because at first everybody was clamoring about why the anime hasn't come back, and they thought for sure it wasn't coming back. But then news comes out, the anime was ahead of the manga, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
way
that
ahead.
shouldn't be happening,
Yeah.
like at all. So now I see why, because now they're in
They just
the
finished tomorrow.
they finished Morrow, and now they jump right into Granola,
Yeah.
the survival arc, and I'm like, I don't expect us to see an animated version of the Morrow arc anytime soon.
Yeah,
I
because
don't.
the thing is, once again, this is because of the pandemic as well. I don't
Right.
expect to see that at least. I think it's coming back because they're supposed to be working on another movie because
Yeah.
Broly did far
Did
exceed the
numbers.
expectations. Yeah, so
Numbers. And the
um,
crazy thing is, they're making even more money, whether people know it or not. Funimation signed a deal with Oculus and Facebook. They literally show Super Dragon Ball Super Broly damn near every week, and that's $3 tickets.
mhm.
And that thing is sold out every time I look at it. And that's literally like big screen because they have an app called Big Screen.
Yeah.
That's a huge screen, like you're at the theaters with headphones on. It sounds crazy, like you right there in it.
Mhm.
And like I said, $3 tickets damn near every week on big screen, and they sell out every time.
And that's the thing. You ain't got to charge that much if you do
You
it like
don't.
that. You ain't got to charge them $25. Hey, look, we'll get this. See, as a matter of fact, we're gonna have a special this week. You only got
Yeah,
to pay 99 cents.
yeah,
99 cents. Oh, I'm in.
right. Like I said, if I didn't have the movie already, I'll be in the theater chilling because you're literally in there with other people on VR talking, like watching the movie. So it's like you're at the theaters. This is crazy.
Yeah. So
But yeah.
I now I'm glad y'all enjoyed us going down memory lane. So let's talk about some of the newer slash anime, and some of the more controversial ones.
Right.
Have you watched Goblin Slayer?
No, I have not.
Probably need to watch that one. But
Okay.
now the thing about Goblin Slayer is it came out 2019. Now they
Okay.
do have a movie, Goblin's Crown, out on Crunchyroll. If you haven't had a chance to give it a watch, it's actually not that bad. It's an hour and 25 minutes. If you haven't seen the series, it's probably better to you can watch the movie because they do like a recap for about 40 minutes. And it actually the way they did it, and normally I get mad about that stuff like that, but the way they did it, it actually makes sense. So if you haven't had
Okay.
a chance to see Goblin Crown, I suggest you can. Now the thing about Goblin Slayer is you cannot watch this with the kids. You can't under any
Okay.
circumstances
Okay.
because the controversial thing about um, Goblin Slayer was the very first episode showed a rape.
Oh, rip.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But the thing was, like, people got mad, but I'm like, dude, if you watch the second, third, fourth episodes, you know why they had to show that scene, and it's not like it's a bad scene, but
Right.
it's not like this is because they already had said this is TVMA. It's not
Okay.
for children. So the reason why they showed the scene is because in the Goblin Slayer world, people think that goblins aren't anything. They think they're weak. And
Okay.
there's this one character called the Goblin Slayer who's basically the Frank Castle of the anime world, who goes on, he strictly kills goblins. But the reason why he does that is because his town when he was a boy got ransacked in a goblin raid.
Okay.
Well, the goblin raid, his sister hid him under the floorboards. She was brutally raped and murdered, and he saw the whole thing. So
Wow.
he suffers from real traumatic PTSD. That
Okay.
first episode, they showed you how messed up them goblin hordes can get. You have to have that because the rest of the series, when you see people talking about, oh man, goblins ain't nothing. You like, hell no, go kill them. That's what you're saying as a viewer. You're like, no, I know what they can do if you let them go kill them. And everybody until that last, I think until the last 2 episodes, they all think he's just like, oh man, he ain't no real, until they have to deal with a goblin raid. And when they figure it out, it's like, oh shit, this is what happens in a goblin raid? Yes.
And this is what I'm looking at, because I just pulled it up on Crunchyroll, and I'm assuming they only got these 12 episodes for right now.
For the first season, yeah. The second season will come out this year.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because when I first looked at it, I thought it reminded me of something else, and I forget the name of it because I watch so much anime. Stuff starts blending together after a while. Yeah. But the one question I was going to ask you before I saw this, and something that I recently started doing, is asking people, is there an original first and this is just a readaptation to it? Or because I ran into that situation with both Fairy Tail and Full Metal Alchemist. Because I watched Fairy Tail and I'm like, okay, cool. And then come to find out, there's another Fairy Tail that tells you how they got their dragon powers and everything. And the same thing, and with a different ending with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like, I was like, dude, I wish I would have seen this first before watching this newer version.
Now, the thing about Full Metal Alchemist was they fell into the same problem that everybody else did, where they caught up to the manga back in 2003 or 4. Because the manga didn't end until like 2008 or 9. Now, with that one, it was a monthly manga. It wasn't weekly. So that's why it took so long. Brotherhood is what it was supposed to have been. That's why, like, a lot of people got mad because they were like, well, they don't talk about the guy with the glasses. I can't remember his name. The guy that everybody loved that they killed. He had the little girl at the funeral.
I know exactly who you talk.
But in the original Full Metal Alchemist, they gave him like an extra 4 or 5 episodes. In Brotherhood, he got the 2 episodes that was in the manga. That's pretty much what he got. And people was upset about that, but I'm like, nah, because you gotta trust me. If you read the manga and you know what's coming, that ain't gonna be the worst thing that happens. That's not right. That happens. But Goblin Slayer is one, because I don't know when they started that manga, but it's one of those monthly ones, and it's Now the other controversial one that came out in 2019 is Rise of the Shield Hero.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now
I love that. Oh, I love it.
This is my favorite. Like, this is one of my favorite ones of the new crop and this is one of my favorite ones, because to me it deals with what happens when somebody is falsely accused and how they react. This is how a real person will react to getting falsely accused of something he did not do.
And he was so lost. He was so lost about that too, because the simple fact when he came in, he knew something was up. Because it was already like they asked everybody, every other person up there, like, okay, you know, where you from? What's your name? He didn't even ask him. He was like, yo, King, you forgot about me. He's like, oh, I did? So, okay, yeah, go ahead and do your little spill or whatever. I was like, that's how I knew something was going off that.
And the funny thing about it is, okay, so imagine you get taken to a whole new world.
Yep.
You're brand new. You don't know nobody. And they tell you, okay, look, you got to level up because we got these catastrophic waves coming, and the 4 of y'all got to defend us, or we all gonna die.
Right?
Like, what the hell? And then because the king doesn't like what the previous one of what your class did, he blames all that junk on you. And so you get the least amount of anything. So you're like, okay, all right, I don't know where this is coming from, but I still got to do it. I'm like, I'm a gamer. I could do this, no problem. So his daughter decides that since nobody will work with you, I will work with you. She tries to get him drunk. He don't drink. Right. She offers him something else. He don't take it because he's trying to be proper. He's not. I don't know you like that. I ain't trying to get in no issue. Thank you for helping me out, and I look forward to work with you tomorrow. He goes and goes to bed. He wakes up with a spear in his face.
Yep.
And all his money gone and all his clothes gone. They bring him to the castle. He's talking about he raped me. He's like, what the hell?
Real.
Oh, real. I'm talking about off top. And dude is like, what the hell are you talking about? I ain't do nothing. And nobody believes him.
And nobody that's the crazy part. To even give a little more context for anybody that's listening, the reason why she's the only one that helps him because everybody else divvies up into teams. The reason why he only has her is because, like you said, he was the shield, so no one fools with the shield. And the thing is, he can't fight because with the shield, you're not allowed to attack. you're not allowed to get any type of weapon whatsoever to attack because it won't allow you to get no sword, nothing. So you got to have a team of fighters, otherwise you screwed.
You're screwed.
Yeah.
And like I said, like it's a very well told story, especially that first season. The first season is very well told. Now people didn't like it because people say, "Oh, this is gonna hurt the Me Too movement." I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And on top of that, these things do happen for real, and they need to be addressed because people will lie. And like my favorite episode is episode 21 when Mama come back.
Oh yeah, she shut the shit down.
She and what make it so bad, and I think like the other thing too is like throughout the season, you see him, the shield hero, help people, and people start seeing like, hey man, something don't seem right. If for somebody who's supposed to be a bloodthirsty monster, he damn sure ain't evil.
Right, fighting waves by itself and doing all this, and help people out. Yeah, that was crazy.
And then on top of that, he don't like slavery. Thank you for somebody that don't like slavery. So he's going around like, okay, y'all got slaves in here, which don't make no sense. And he's going around actually helping them. And it becomes like he's getting all of that attention. And he's still pissed off, by the way. Like the whole season, he is hella pissed. So like the last 2 episodes. Right. He stays pissed.
Let me finish the show, okay? Let me finish the show, okay? All right.
He's still pissed, and he still has like and you understand why.
Right.
Like, you have to understand why. Now, I don't know why people thought that was controversial. Well, I know why they thought it was controversial, but if you watch the whole series, it shouldn't be controversial to you.
You have to. Like I sent this anime to somebody that's very judgmental. Like they judge stuff right off the bat. There are those people that will read a headline on social media and instantly bash the person without getting any information. So I send them the anime, right? So they was like, okay, if I don't like it after episode 3, I'm shutting it down. So I'm like, all right, cool. It ain't nothing but, a handful of episodes anyway. It ain't like no full One Piece situation.
Yeah, it ain't no like 1,200 episodes.
Right, it ain't nothing like that. Like I think it's like 12 episodes at that. So she's watching it. And she was like, all right, cool. And then she was like, I don't like the shield guy. Because at this point, when she got into it, it was when he went to go get the slave.
Yeah.
But the thing was, she was like, okay, I'm a slave with her, but he was like, nah, I just need you to fight. Like, if you want to play that whole slave and master thing, then if that's what's gonna get you to fight, then cool. But I ain't on that type of time. Like, I'm gonna feed you and take care of you, type of thing. So then when she was like, okay, I'm cool with it. But then when she saw like the king's daughter and saw how she was acting and how she had that punk ass dude running behind her.
Hero. Yeah,
the spirit hero, like he got on my nerves, and she was like, he gets on my nerves.
But the thing is, it's important because that's a white knight.
Yes,
that is what all 4 of them are a trope that happens in real life.
Yeah,
because spear white knight that believes everything without even questioning it. The bow, he want to be so cool, but he ignores shit that's right in front of his face.
He see it, but he just like whatever on it.
Yeah. Sword hero, he wants to be Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows something. Like that's the other thing that killed me about them, because I think it was like episode 4 or 5, whenever they had the banquet.
Yeah.
And they saw the spear hero basically cheat.
Yeah.
And they didn't say nothing. They like,
said nothing at all.
And I'm like, y'all came from the same place he did. Are y'all getting so much more special treatment that's what y'all own?
Right. And I don't even think they really called him out until way later into the anime. And so, and I think when the priest.
Yeah, it was with the priest.
That's when
because the priest finna kill all of them.
Yeah. And that's when they was like, all right, cool, we got to work together, because they was all about to die.
Yeah.
But then the queen showed up, and you know what I'm saying, she helped out. But I think my favorite episode at all was the trial. The trial when she was like, kill my daughter, like kill her and kill him. And he's like, no, hold up. Don't kill the king. Don't kill her. Every time you walk into another city, call her a whore. Yeah. Whenever you walk outside this thing, you still call something else. I was like, wow.
But hey, the thing was, I'm like, you got what you deserved. Because I'm
Right.
like, end of it, I'm like, bro, it couldn't have been me because I would have been sitting there smiling while they got their heads cut off.
Right.
Do that to me. I'm sorry.
But I think he enjoyed that more because at first I didn't think they were going to continue it.
Yeah.
As soon as she walked up, they was like, Queen, I mean, whore. Can we do like they really was like troubled by calling her this, but that was the rules. I mean, they had to based off the hearing.
She was a pathological liar.
Bruh.
I'm like,
The
and in
worst.
the
And was trying to
manga,
take her sister out too. She was
yeah.
trying to take a younger sister out.
Now the funny thing about it is in the manga, she's way worse.
Really?
She's way worse because like one of the reasons the spear hero would try to like start asking questions,
Right.
she go have sex with him, and he just okay, yeah, I believe whatever she say. You like
whipped,
bro? You whipped on top of me? Okay,
yeah.
and that wasn't the only dude she was sleeping with, which came out in the hearing in the manga.
Yeah,
because they left that part out for obvious reasons. But
of course.
but the thing was, the mama had already known about all this stuff she was doing. She
Right.
knew about her trying to kill her sister, which was jacked up because that's another reason why I didn't like the bow and the spear. I'm like, you just saw her shoot a fireball at her sister's head. If Shield Hero don't come up and block that, she's dead. There's no way she survives that.
Right.
No way. So I'm sitting there like, y'all know this stuff and y'all acting like this, but that's one of those shows where I would tell anybody, you need to watch that one. And the good thing about it, they have all the, if you don't like watching subs, you can watch it dubbed, especially on Crunchyroll. Yeah, because Crunchyroll was doing the dub real time.
Yeah, so, they were.
And I think they're gonna do that again when it comes back in second season. So
yeah, I'm about to say, if you're gonna watch it, you better watch it now because I'm looking at it now. They released a trailer saying that the second season this year.
Yep.
So
I think it's supposed to be this spring or this summer, I think, is when it's supposed to hit.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, watch it. I mean, I'm telling you, I got people that don't watch anime fooling with this particular anime. Like, there's only a handful I can get people involved in, but this one with the story, the combat, the fact that it's like a video game, and it's so good.
Yeah, and the themes of it is good as well. Now, once again, if you're one of them people that that they talking about in this anime, you're probably not gonna like it.
Nah, not at all.
I'm just gonna tell you the truth, like, because they're gonna call you out. This anime calls people out, and the funny thing about it is, I guess y'all think it's written by a man, don't you?
More than likely,
it's not. It's written by a woman.
It's not at all.
Yeah, it's written by a woman.
Like, not at all.
Yeah, the whole thing is because it was a light novel series, and it's written by a woman. I think it ended in like 2017. I think was when it ended. When they finished it, so they'll actually be able to actually do the whole thing without having to worry about getting caught up.
But that was the only thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm here in America. I understand it completely that, they probably trying to get a feel, and then if you're not in that hot slot, over in Japan, then it's no guarantee that it's going to keep going. So I'm glad to see there's a season 2, but that's typically why I stay away from those that already only have one season. Because I was like, if I get into it, it may be a year or two down the line before I even see a season 2. If I even get a season 2, and then now I'm left on a cliffhanger, and I'm like,
which is what happened with everybody that likes Log Horizon.
Yeah,
because 2014, and then it stopped, and then the pandemic. It was funny, came out last year, and the pandemic happened, so they had to push it back. And it just came. I want to say it debuted a couple weeks ago. Season 3 finally did, but that was in 2014. Was the last season was when season 2 ended, and I'm like, yeah, it took 7 years. That's why I understand why people be like, look, man, I can't do the seasons. I'm like, I understand because we're used to seeing them go straight through the series usually. Right. So, and another one, and this one's about to end, unfortunately, because it started getting good. At first, people didn't like it. That Black Clover. The first arc, people didn't really like, and then it started picking up. People started liking it, and now they're about to go. Now it's about to close. It's about to end. I think it's March 30th is their last episode.
See, you about to make me go back and finish it because I was one of those. I was in it, and I was like, bro, what the hell? Like, him and that black book, like, it popped up, and then he just reminded me of just being angry.
Them first 15 episodes hard to get through.
They are. They so tough. I haven't even got through them. Like,
but I can say this: it picks up, and when it picks up, and I like the fact that they heard people complaining about him yelling all the damn time because he stops yelling. He talks like a normal freaking
Okay.
person.
Okay. Yeah, because
You
that's all he
know,
was doing was hollering all the
yeah.
time, bro.
Like the only time he yells now is when it's appropriate in a fight.
Right.
So like, but other than that, he talks normal. He doesn't like yell every 2 words.
Right.
You know. But it got real good, especially the elf arc, and now they're in the devil triad arc, and I'm like, they about to cut this off right when it's getting good.
Right.
Right when it's getting good. But yep, that's what it is. Now, I have not started Jujutsu Kaisen yet, but I've heard nothing but good things about Jujutsu Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yeah,
Okay. Might have
that's
to take
a
a look at it.
that's a newer one. Now I know y'all want ready for me to talk about One Piece. Can I keep it a buck with y'all? I really only watch the movies. That's too many episodes, man. That's way too many episodes.
I was on the same thing as you because every time I look at it, my anxiety will start acting a fool. But
Yeah.
then somebody told me they was like, if you make it through the first 100 and you don't like it, then get rid of it quick because you're not gonna like the rest of it.
Yeah.
So as I'm watching it, yeah, it's a slow burn. And the
It
thing
really is.
was, I was going into One Piece looking for combat, but One Piece is more story driven than it is combat driven. And so I'm like, okay, I can deal with that because literally the setup happens the same way damn near every time. It's just they have different ways of doing it to where they pop up, they just exploring, uh,
Separate.
Luffy get separated because Luffy don't fucking listen, and
Yep.
then Luffy get trapped or get thrown in the water because he can't swim because of his devil fruit, and the rest of the team got to figure it out. And then Luffy show up to fight the big dude, and then it is what it is after that. But the one thing I like about One Piece is everybody on his team is getting developed.
Yeah.
It's not turning into what Dragon Ball's turning into to the point to where I don't know what else they can do because Goku and Vegeta are so far gone.
Yeah.
There's like, how do you bring the rest of the team into that without messing it up and
The
having
only
them go with
way
this super spike of power out of nowhere?
the only way to do it is take Goku and Vegeta out of it, leave them on the sidelines, and build everybody else up. That's the only way you could do it, and I don't think they're gonna do that
Nah,
because Goku. Well, not really Goku. Vegeta is hella more popular than I realized. But then again, Vegeta is the one who got all the damn character development in Dragon Ball Z.
he sure was. Yep.
Now I'll give them this: Dragon Ball Super gave Goku the character development through the first 3 arcs.
Yep.
They did because they addressed his weaknesses basically. Like
Yep.
you don't take shit seriously.
Nah.
Like
Play too
you
much.
need you need to take stuff seriously because these people you finna fight, they not joking and laughing with you.
Nah, not at all.
They not. And the whole thing with Frieza showcase it like, dude, you want a playmate. This dude wants to destroy a universe.
Pretty much.
Like, and when he blew up the world, we had to tell him, now what did we learn?
Right.
Whose fault is this?
Right.
All right, I'm gonna fix it, but you gonna have to do what you're supposed to. I know you don't like killing people, but it's either kill him or your wife and everybody else die.
Pretty much.
3 minute
Yeah.
rewind.
But the one thing I will say, I didn't understand the Frieza comeback at all. But the way that they're getting ready to spin it with this new arc, perfect.
Makes perfect sense.
Because now because honestly, I really hope Toryotaro and Toriyama really go heavy with this because we're about to see the history of the Saiyans, about to see all of the stuff with Frieza, like because he's really at the necks of the Saiyans and Frieza. So that's what Granola is like.
Granola don't care.
Granola don't care at this point.
Yeah.
So it's just like with 7-3 lived from that whole situation with Moro. So 7-3's in this whole ordeal. And then Granola, and you got Oatmeal, and you got all these other crazy names they be throwing out there.
All food based.
All food based.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and he's from the planet Sorel, but it's cereal. But it's like with this, he's so pissed off because he thought for sure Frieza was done. He heard through the grapevine Goku killed Frieza, but he didn't know of Goku, but he heard Frieza died. And then he got word that Frieza's actually alive. So he's like, okay, where he at?
Dumbass
like,
brought him back.
He's like, where he at though? Like, so he ready to lock up on Frieza, but he gotta train and get a little bit more strong on the situation. But I really hope they really get involved with, okay, this is why Frieza or King Cold did what he did, how they even got to the situation, what the sayings were truly about, all this stuff that they could really dive into. Because, like I said to you and Dre before, the one thing I liked about One Piece was giving me ideas with Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, to where they really could have done better with that whole Frieza situation. Because when we heard about Frieza, when they popped up on Namek, and King Cow was like, "Hey, don't do that. Like, you see him, go the other way.
Yeah, you do
Like,
not fight him.
Don't touch him."
Yeah.
So in that saga, we got the Doria, Zarbon, Frieza Force, Frieza, Ginyu Force. I'm like, we literally got so many powerful beings in space that everybody knows and fear. Beerus knows Frieza.
Yeah.
Like, people know who Frieza is. And we got them all within that span of Namek, and they all got taken out. And I was like, y'all could have really stretched this out to make Frieza more of a fearsome being instead of jumping into something right after that.
I really thought that the reason why they did that so they could actually go back and tell it at some point. I really did, because I thought that's what they were going to do with the movies, but they never did. No. But I thought that was what they were going to do, especially when they did Cooler, which I found out from reading an interview they did with Toriyama years ago. Cooler is meant to be canon.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah. He's actually meant to be canon. But I see where you're coming from, and I agree. The only problem I have with it is because there's one thing I always wanted to see. Mm-hmm. What would happen if Goku ever met Bardock and Gine?
I hear so many arguments about this. I'm glad you said that, because the people that make a living off of YouTube that talk about Dragon Ball, they look at Goku and they look at it in the sense of, okay, he wouldn't care. But my thing is this: he would have, because it's one of those things of an introduction of, okay, you're my mom. He's going to embrace that. Yeah. If he said, okay, you're my dad, and you used to be, people say you were strong. All right, let's put it to the test. Like, he with it, just because whenever he showed up to fight Frieza and he was like, I don't care. It's not like they were in a full conversation about his pops. Frieza was like, yo, you look familiar. He's like, I don't give a damn. Let's fight. Yeah. Like, it had nothing to do with Bardock. It's just,
he had just killed Vegeta right in front of him.
Right. So he ain't even checking for he ain't even on that type of time for no conversation. So I feel like with Goku, he's met people he don't even know and was like, yo, you strong? I heard you strong. You want to fight? Like, he that type of guy. So I'm pretty sure he would care. And even if you brought King Vegeta back, I'm pretty sure that'll be a whole nother thing.
And that's why I was like, I wish they would do like something. I don't care if it's a movie where he goes to other world and he gets to meet his mom and his dad. Because right now, Goku believes he doesn't have a mom and a dad.
Right. He just know about Gohan. That's it.
Yeah. He thinks he doesn't have one. Like, dude, your mom and dad was strong as shit. Like, your dad was bleeding to death and took out half of a damn army.
Yeah.
Bleeding to death.
It was real deal, man. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know how he created Raditz, but yeah.
Right. Because Raditz is older than Goku. Yeah. And so Raditz was riding with Vegeta and Nappa. Yeah. And that's why, he wasn't a part of that whole situation. But then that was another thing too with Turles. Even though I know Turles is not canon, he was like, I'm your brother. And he just like a dark skinned Goku. Yeah. Like, okay, like, was you cheating? Because
I don't think I'd cheat on Gine, but yeah, okay.
I was like, this is a dark-skinned Goku. I'm like, you got some explaining to do, Bardock. I was like, all right.
I know you've been on some planets for a while when I come home, but bro, you want to talk about this, bro? Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that I actually like, and like I said, with this new arc in Dragon Ball Super, this will be the perfect time to bring Piccolo back into it, like they should have been doing. Because they always talk about how a Namek is not really that far off in base power from a Saiyan.
Right.
Not really.
Right.
And to be honest, I know some people who don't understand why us black folks say Piccolo's black. I'm not going to explain that to you. So it's just in the words of the great thespian Wesley Snipes, it's a black thing you wouldn't understand. So, but I mean, it's one of those situations where you're like, Piccolo is actually Toriyama's. I want to say he was actually one of Toriyama's favorite characters he developed, and I'm like, okay. Now I do hate the fact that this has been brought up, and it's actually kind of true, but it's messed up that Piccolo is basically Gohan and Goten's stepdad.
Bro, like stepdad, and he's Pan's babysitter. Like they have taken, like he's still my favorite character, but
Yeah,
they have taken Piccolo down so far, bro. Like
yeah.
so far. He was involved in the whole Cell saga. Like he was involved to where he fighting 17. He was on par.
I'm talking about that fight was one of the best fights still in the
One
series.
of the best
Period.
fights. And
And
still to this day, watching him get one pieced by Cell when he showed up and the screen go black and white,
yeah,
still one of the craziest hits I've ever seen. Like
yeah.
this,
And the funny thing about it was during the Tournament of Power Dragon Ball Super, they showed you why Piccolo is to be feared.
Yes.
Like they were like, this ain't no like he ain't, don't think he sat around not getting strong. He got stronger.
Yeah.
It's just like we got to put the focus on Saiyans.
Right.
And I'm like, bruh, like Piccolo took out like 4 or 5 people.
Piccolo, real deal.
Like
he got Gohan back on par.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, man, y'all got to do something because like he's too, to me, he's too popular and important of a character,
right?
To just have him. Look, I get it. We play it for laughs because, like, even in the Dragon Ball Fighters game, there's a couple of times where Goku even says to Piccolo, "Oh yeah, you're just a better dad than me," and Piccolo like, "You're not supposed to say that." Like, so, because they even bring it up, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's one of them situations where like we get the joke. Can we stop with that joke?
Because it's getting old.
It's kind of not funny anymore, and it's just like, bruh, come on, man. Let the man breathe a little bit. And Gohan, stop using him as your. Well, no, I take that back. Use him as your babysitter if your other alternative is Goku.
Right. You don't want to watch your child. Have that child out there fighting. I mean, which I'm curious too. Which actually brings in another thing when we talk about Pan. You think they're gonna grow up Goten and Trunks yet?
They need
at all.
Goten and Trunks should not look 7 and 8 because
they should.
By the time this is going on, this is about 4 years after the end of Dragon Ball Z. They should be 13 or 14 because they were 13 or 14 when Pan was born.
Yep.
So they should look like teenagers. They shouldn't be. I don't care if you make Goten still look like Goku because I hated when they gave him long hair. I hated that. I'm like, just give him the same hair and make him look like Goku. Just keep it like that. Mm-hmm. Just nobody's gonna get mad about that. Just keep him like that. But the thing is, they should have had them age appropriate. Even Marin, because Marin should be about 7 or 8.
7 or 8.
She should be like what they're looking like now. She should be like that. The other thing too is they need to age them appropriate because I was telling a buddy of mine, I'm like, they should have been in the Tournament of Power.
Yep.
Not Frieza. I know why they put Frieza in now because the whole granola thing. That's why they put Frieza, because they had to bring Frieza back to life.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Now, the problem is, if you really think, after seeing the Tournament of Power, if you really think Goten and Trunks wouldn't have took out half of that doggone board by themselves before they fused, the only person they would have lost to was Jiren, because they would have fought Jiren. They wouldn't have been able to resist it.
I would say they would have done, depending on what age they gave them, they would have been taken out in a stupid way because they play too much.
Yeah,
that's inherently what they do.
But the thing is, after watching Tournament of Power, the people we thought we was worried about, they was weak. I'm like, bro, 7 and 8-year-old Goten would have had a field day with
field day. Imagine them doing a fusion fight between Kefla and that would have been that, like fusion versus fusion. That would have been perfect.
Because that's what I would be like. Okay, that's the perfect thing to do, dude.
Yeah,
that's the perfect thing. Because my thing was have Goten and Trunks there, and have them fight Kefla and Kale, Caulifla and Kale, instead of having Goku do it.
But here's the problem though, and this is what I got a feeling they're gonna do, and I hope they don't do it. But when you talk about the other Saiyans, I got a feeling they're gonna train them before they continue to train their own kids. Like. Well, that's what it seems like it's gearing towards.
That and the fact that they kept bringing up the fact that they were supposed to bring that Kaba is supposed to take them to the Saiyan world in Universe 6. So that has to happen, which I think is gonna happen, so they can get the power up to beat Granola.
Yep, they're gonna have to, because this is gonna be a whole Saiyan play. Like they have to, at this point, if you don't bring Goten and Trunks up, it's a waste. Because you're focusing solely on the Saiyan race at this point, because Granola is like, I need y'all gone. And Frieza gone too. So if he figures out, oh, there's some on Earth, let me go kidnap Goten and Trunks, or let me go kidnap Pan, and y'all don't build on that. Come on, man.
And the thing about Goten and Trunks, you got to remember it's not like they turned into Gohans and don't never train. They're still two Super Saiyan 3s at an age they should not be Super Saiyan 3 at.
Right.
Because when you do the fusion, the way they do the fusion technique, you're only as weak as your weakest person. If they can do a fusion and go Super Saiyan 3, that means basically both of them are Super Saiyan 3s. So if both of them are Super Saiyan 3s, they should not be Super Saiyan 3 at 7 and 8. Yeah. And really, they're not really 7 and 8. They like I said, I think they're 13 and 14.
Because at this point in time, this is when we saw Trunks in the Future of Trunks saga, and where Gohan had died. So we've seen what he looks like already. Yeah. So I don't know what Goten would look like, because like you said, looking at GT, I guess they did it for the sake of having him look different.
Yeah, but I was like, don't do that. Don't do
that. I don't know. Like they have so much leeway. And so many ways they can go, because showing Gohan, or not Gohan, but showing Goku not at the full pinnacle of Ultra Instinct, that there's another step. And then with Beerus talking to Vegeta, like, hey, if you don't want to go that route, we Guys of Destruction got another route, another powers we can do if you want to get down with that. So, I mean, I got a feeling he's going to start training other Beerus behind that. So,
and the other thing, too, is they're going to have to bring in Broly.
You can't just leave him hanging out there, because you don't brought Oob in the picture. You got to bring him in there too. Like,
and the other thing too is how much you want to bet they're going Goku gonna make Piccolo train Broly. I got a bad feeling Goku gonna talk Piccolo into doing it.
But I got a bad feeling he'll try. I got a feeling he'll try it, but I think Vegeta would want to. Because Vegeta shows a lot of interest in other Saiyans. Like, Goku don't care who it is, but Vegeta really cares.
Vegeta sees himself still as the prince.
Right.
It's my job to protect everybody. Now, the reason why I say Piccolo is Piccolo will help him with that rage problem.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because Piccolo will actually have him where he don't be needing to get mad, because when he gets mad, dude, in that movie, when he got mad, he literally wanted to smoke with anything.
Yeah.
I was just like, bruh, did you just go at Whis?
Yeah, like he wanted it. He didn't care who it was. He wasn't asking no names. He was just
here. Like,
you right in my face.
Even though I find it funny that he beat the hell out of Frieza for an hour. I thought that was hilarious.
We was in the movies watching that. Like, and literally he was just like, because Frieza deserved it. Yeah. Because he like offered, like, killed his dad. It was like, oh, look what they did. They killed your daddy. Like, he deserved that ass
with the worst hour. With the worst acting ever. Because he even did the whole he really just
he needed it for that whole hour too. Like the whole hour.
He whooped his ass for an hour straight.
Bro. That's nuts. When you stop and think about it, the only time I've seen Frieza really get beat that bad was Jiren and Broly. Yeah. Like, Goku gave it to him, but Jiren and Broly literally beat the brakes off Frieza.
Yeah, like it was so bad it was funny. It was like, you deserve every lick, you little short, like
he deserved every bit of it. But I mean, to like, outside of the anime, when I look at animes in general, when we were talking about video games earlier, or trying to get the adaptation to the video games, I've seen Dragon Ball done the right way, but I know it's not going to be for everybody. And when you try to do the Dragon Ball Fighter Z way, that's perfect for the side-to-side fighter. Like, that's cool, the 2D fighter situation. But when you try to get into the whole anime aspect, well, not anime, but the RPG aspect of it, I played Kakarot, and I went straight through Kakarot, went through the DLC and everything else, right? They got to find a better way, because you run into the issue of doing the little side missions that don't make sense. You fighting the same enemies, and then the enemies, they scale based off of whatever your power level is.
Which doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense.
And then, like, even when you do the fights, still to this day, which I don't understand it, why have me beat somebody that initially won in the anime, but I have to beat them just for me to say I lost? I don't get it.
Well, yeah, it's hard to do an RPG Dragon Ball Z game for the same reason it's hard to do a Superman action adventure.
True.
Now, once again, I like how they've done Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball Goku ain't all powerful. Superman is pretty much the most broken character in all of fiction.
Yes.
So there's the character you have to play off of. But I agree with you. It's hard to do a Dragon Ball game that's an RPG. You'll probably get away with it as an action adventure, probably. But RPG, no, because the thing about certain RPGs, there's the grind factor there, and you don't want it. You don't want enemies too OP because then people get frustrated, and you don't want to turn into a dungeon crawler because then the people that's not dungeon crawler fans are gonna be like, man, I'm tired of playing this. I feel like I'm not doing anything. So it's kind of like a hard balance to strike. My thing is the best thing I think Dragon Ball can do as far as that. Probably at first do like One Piece does, go to Muso route for a couple games.
Right.
And then just do a straight up action adventure. And that way you can do like if they did lose in the manga, like when Raccoon beat the brakes off of Gohan.
Right.
Have it where he loses.
Right.
Well, you can't. They've done this in action adventure games and action RPG games where you're fighting a boss and you're supposed to lose and you can't take nothing off of them. Does anybody remember Tales of Symphonia?
Oh yeah.
There's a couple fights in there where you weren't supposed to win and you take off 1 HP and they hit you one time and they take off half your life.
I think the only thing I would say against that of actually having them lose, even though I want to see it, you do have that crowd that's kind of that I call it the Wii bowling crowd. And the reason why I say that is if you watch the anime, you're not going. Why would I touch the controller? I know I'm supposed to lose. Why would I touch it? And because like even with the Wii bowling thing, if you really get invested, you can have fun. But then there's people that can sit right there and get a strike every time. So
but that's not fun. So
and it's not. But you got people that's like, yo, I know I'm gonna lose this fight, so why am I even entertaining the fight? Yeah, I mean, so I get it. They want to appeal to everybody, which you can't. You can't. Really and even when I've sat down, I thought about this again, and this is something I was gonna bring to Dre in regards to his podcast. And for Dragon Ball games, I've always looked at the Pokemon company. They need to do the same thing because all of us have looked at Pokemon and looked at Pokemon games as like, yo, I'm looking at the anime. I need my game like that. Yeah. So the way I look at it, if you're going to do any type of fight, any type of game like Dragon Ball, I know people want control over it, but you can't really do that in a game. You need to have it on a turn-based situation, but something more or less of a continuous action turn-based. And what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, we do it like Final Fantasy 13 to where you pick like a multitude of attacks or whether you do defense or whatever you want to do, but it's like 2 or 3 different actions you can pick. Even when I'm still selecting whatever when it's my turn, they're still fighting on screen. So it looks like there's still action going on. But then depending on what I choose and what I pick, it kind of reflects on the action. And that's something they've done before with the card-based game they've had, the Legend of the Super Saiyan. Yeah, to where it's literally like, okay, you pick this. Were you up high? Were you down low? If you come up for a melee attack and they chose a key card, you get blown out the water. Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those things to where I feel like they can work it if they get the right team on it. But when you have something that has already been written and everybody already knows the ending of it, that's when you have to start going the Xenoverse route to where you start making stuff up.
Yeah. Which, to Xenoverse's credit, they have a following.
Yeah, they do. Definitely.
I'm not one of them, but yeah, they have a following.
Strong following.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't love it either, but I mean, it's okay. I mean, if that's your stilo, it's okay.
It's the only thing you can do.
Yeah, it's because they're stuck in a corner. They're stuck in a corner. I mean, the best thing they got right now is the fighting games because that's the best thing you can do with a series like that.
But even then, you got people that look at it and say, you know what? I got a Super Saiyan Goku. Why is Krillin touching me? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like they look at it from a power level aspect from the anime.
Not realizing that actually Krillin is where he's at right now in Dragon Ball Super, he's as strong as a Super Saiyan level 2.
Right.
So
that's him and Tenshin, how they constantly train it.
Yeah. So I mean, don't get the twist. Yeah, he's married, but Krillin, the only person who stops training is Gohan and Yamcha. They're the only two. Like everybody else constantly trains. So like it's not like they've been getting weaker. The problem is the enemies are so much more powerful that you're sitting there like, yeah, bro, y'all can't get involved in this.
Like, I appreciate what y'all doing, but
So I mean, because I had explained that when they did that the part in right before the Tournament of Power, people were like, why did Goku have to go Super Saiyan Blue on Krillin? Because Krillin is as strong as Super Saiyan 2, idiot. Even in the Buu saga, when they went to the tournament, they straight up said if he would have went back in time, he could have killed Frieza.
yeah,
At that point.
They can, and and I think that's a lot of things that people that are not really into it, they tend to forget. Because like the main argument I had with my cousin, he was like, y'all went and got Tien, Master Roshi, and Krillin out of all people, right? And I was like, okay, well, what was the problem? He was like, but these are people from other universes, and we didn't see them train. I was like, you didn't see these other people from the other universe train. I was like, so how would you know? Like, they could be the weaklings of that universe. Understand that, Universe 6 was like on the bottom of the totem pole, yeah, but at the end of the day, we didn't see Krillin in them train, we didn't see Jiren in them train, we didn't see Hit, Kaba, no, we didn't see nobody train outside of Vegeta and Goku. So
which I think was done on purpose.
Right, so you can jump them in at any point in time. Now, no one's gonna sit here and say Master Roshi was training, but at the same time, Master Roshi wasn't doing anything but using his mind to win those fights.
And this ain't like this wasn't a life or death fight in the sense of it was a tournament,
right?
Perfectly suited for Master Roshi's tricks.
That's what he said. He was like, oh, okay, cool.
and there's one thing that they did in the manga that I wish they would have done in the anime. Showed you why Master Roshi's still alive and why Whis and Beerus like, what the hell? He ain't supposed to be doing that. He mastered Ultra Instinct, but the problem was he's just older. So because in the manga, in the manga, he fights Jiren. That's how Goku learns how to do Ultra Instinct. Because he's like, okay, I got one more thing to teach you. He's like, you and Krillin, I want y'all to pay attention. I have one more thing to teach you. And that's and the way they did the panel, it was cool because the panel goes from him saying that they do a shot of Whis, it goes back to Master Roshi, they go back to Whis and Beerus, and Whis is like, he's not supposed to know how to do that. And then you see him go Ultra Instinct, and Jiren is trying to hit him, and he can't hit him. And that's why when Goku first did it, all he knew how to do was dodge with it.
Right.
But in the anime, they kind of didn't do that. I kind of wish they would have did that because that's how Master Roshi gets knocked out. Master Roshi takes out those dudes from Universe 4 like he did in the anime. But the one thing he does is like, okay, I got to show, because I think that's when they showed Jiren fight Hit, and he realized when he saw Hit couldn't take him, that's when Roshi was like, okay, I got to show my two students how they're gonna have to take this guy out because they'll have to be the ones to do it. I can't do it because I done got too old.
Right.
But, and I like that. That's why you bring Master Roshi. Yeah, Master Roshi is a lecher. We all know they play it for laughs.
Yeah.
It's comic relief because yes, it's a trope in anime, but usually the guys that do that stuff, the perverted guys, the women beat them up.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah,
all the time. Like Jiraiya and Naruto, same way. Yeah.
They constantly get they don't. Yeah, they perverts, but they get beat up. So it's not like they're. It's played for laughs, and I know people don't like that because they like. I understand why they don't like that, but I'm sorry. I think some of that stuff be funny depending on how they do the scene. Most stuff with Master Roshi is funny,
right?
Because it's just it.
He just out there with it. He like, I'm old. I'm just gonna take my shot.
I mean, and most of us that got large families, we got an uncle or a cousin, an old uncle or old cousin that's way worse than him.
Super worse.
Yeah,
super worse.
Running around here with they 70 years old with a 30-year-old girlfriend. Like, what
the? We ain't even gonna get into that.
Yeah. So, yeah. But that being said, okay, so we hit over an hour. So I think this is probably good way to start. We can talk about this for hours, by the way.
Oh yeah. I already had another one geared up.
Yeah. We're probably gonna have to come back and do a part 2 to this one at some point.
Right.
Yeah, we'll probably do a part 2 to this one at some point. Because I really want to get into that with Rurouni Kitchen and how they got a video game in Japan, but not over here.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Sony, sometimes I hate you.
If only they could just tap into that. The way they tapping into this battle royale nonsense.
Yeah, Like
to look at people loving anime and redo them, like because a lot of these games were PS2 exclusive. So I mean,
in Japan
bring
only.
in Japan only. So you got exclusive on the exclusive. Like just come on, man.
Especially that Ronin Kitchen because that was like Bushido Blade. If anybody remember
Right.
that game,
And I
that
love
hard,
Bushido Blade.
that hard as hell game.
I
But
love it.
yeah, I would love for them to do that. But yeah, we're gonna do a part 2 to this at some point. So before we get out of here, I just want to say to everybody that has somebody tonight, I hate you. But I want y'all to have a happy Valentine's Day. Don't do nothing that I wouldn't do, which is pretty much everything. And y'all stay safe and all that other good stuff. You're in love. Sorry, making fun of us for single. I said I was gonna be nice. So Jack, anything you wanna wrap up?
um, I'm going to say this like super early. It's still in the works, and it's probably supposed to kick off in like March. But I'm thinking I'm going to bring the gaming channel back, and then also I'm going to start bringing my merchandise stuff back to where I start doing like theme shirts. So I done already set up, done my research, got the heat and press machine coming, got the shirts and stuff coming because I go through a company now, but literally I think I did an hour. I mean, I ordered like 2 weeks ago and they just shipped it today, and I'm like, I can't do this. So I'm getting to that point to where even if I gotta go and you say like, man, I wish I had, let's say, a Roni Kenshin shirt, without saying it, I can get you. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm gonna have everything from the printer, the cutter, the press machine. Like, so I'm gonna start putting that back in full effect. And then of course, always the music, doing that all the time. If you follow me on Twitter, I got my Instagram, Facebook. That's most of where I post it because Twitter really isn't a place where I feel like people pay attention to the music aspect of it. So I don't really put it there. But yeah, I'm cranking it up super heavy. Found some people to collab with. This one guy out of Tennessee, met him down in Naples, Florida, and so yeah, I'm starting to kick it off pretty heavy now, man.
Cool,
Yeah,
nice, and we will be supporting.
thank you, I appreciate it,
We
man.
will be supporting. So I did find out one very funny thing that YouTube doesn't like me having a secondary channel. So the live streams will be done on this channel. The
Really?
gaming channel is not going anywhere. Yeah, for some reason it wouldn't find my camera. Wouldn't find my webcam and wouldn't let me do a live stream without the webcam. So but it would let me do one on this channel. Go figure. I
Oh,
found it to be odd. I was looking it up and I couldn't find anything that says how to uh fix that. So I'm still looking into that, but I'm gonna try to do a couple live streams on this channel just to see if see how it will work because I have a my Elgato. I did the update for it, so I want to see if it does a little bit better. I may still have to upgrade the laptop. We'll
right.
see, but I'm gonna try to do a couple on here. I will let everybody know, of course, ahead of time, but please go look at the gaming channel because I will still be doing Let's Talks and First Impressions. I'm finna have my first impression of Yeast 9 Monstrum Nox up hopefully
Okay. Bet.
hopefully sometime this week, if not beginning of next week. So
Cool.
hopefully. But yeah, because we're about to have a lot of games drop.
Yeah,
And
I'm playing one now, Super
yeah.
Mario. Yeah.
Yeah, and we will be talking about that Bowser's Godzilla. I mean Bowser's Fury probably next week.
Real quick, you
Uh
think that's the future of Mario? The way they got
why
that
not?
set up?
Why not? I mean,
Because
I'm all about Super Saiyan Lion Mario.
I'm not even talking about that aspect of it. I'm talking about like the item bar down at the bottom and
Yeah.
just having an open world so where you can just
I,
kind of once when you go into a certain area, it's like, hey, get this cat shine by doing this in this area, like leaving it open without switching to different worlds.
well, the thing that I've noticed about Nintendo over the past few years is they will try something out on
Hmm.
one game because they're going to actually put it in another
And
game.
somewhere else, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I
Okay,
know why people were upset about the whole Bowser Fury thing, but and I had to explain to people again, and I'm gonna say it. Hopefully this is the last time. Which is the bigger number, 80 plus million or 13 million? And if you already bought the game on your Wii U, nobody's making you buy it again.
and
Now
it's a
I
diff.
do now I do agree. I do agree. They should let people who want to purchase Bowser Fury by itself, if they want to buy it by themselves, let them buy it by themselves. Make it digital only, and let them
Right,
buy it by
exactly.
themselves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but you cannot get mad at a company for porting their higher sold games to their new system when their older system did not sell.
Right.
You are not the focus if you bought a Wii U. I'm not the focus of this game. The focus is those 70 plus million other people that did not have a Wii U.
Right. Exactly.
Stop complaining about it and acting like you have a freaking connection. Nobody's making you buy it. God.
It was the same thing with Spider-Man because with the whole Miles Morales thing. But the stupid part about that is that game, the original game, did decent numbers, Sony type numbers, and nobody got mad at the fact that it got remastered as if that was an old game. Like, like that's literally a 2-year-old game. Like, really? Like, okay, but y'all mad that a 7 or 8-year-old game? Like, oh, all right, y'all got
a
it.
system that didn't sell that well.
That didn't sell that well at all. Like, barely. I think it was 5, maybe. But then again, for most consoles, that's doing great.
Yeah.
But that, in Nintendo standards, that's piss poor. Yeah.
According to other people. But but that's why. But I think that's what they're doing because that's the whole thing with Legend of Zelda. There's not gonna be. We're not getting no more closed world Legend of Zeldas. They're gonna all be open world from now on.
Oh, yes. After you saw this,
yeah,
I wouldn't either. Unless you're doing like a 2D one.
Yeah, and they'll probably do another couple 2D ones. But yeah, that's basically where we're at. But all right, people. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and we will see you guys next week. The whole crew hopefully should be able to be in, and we will see you guys then. In all honesty, I hope y'all like the jokes. Happy Valentine's Day. Peace out.
Peace.